Hey, what's up? This is Joe. This video is going to take you on part 2 of the long journey to Sturgis. Camping at a beautiful state park in Illinois. Trying some delicious local food. And dealing with the cam chain tensioner failure in the state of Iowa. After a brief respite hanging out with my friend Dwight in Indiana, I got back on the road and headed northwest into the state of Illinois. There was a really great state park a little ways outside of Chicago where I'd stayed a couple of years back. So I zigzagged my way there on back roads, leading through seemingly endless expanses of farmlands. So got my spot set up in Illini State Park. It just so happens that one of my favorite pizza places is just over the Illinois River in the town of Marseilles. I think I'm saying that right. Right now, I guess I'm about an hour and a half away from Chicago. So one of the things I like about this area, you have a lot of country folk living out here. It's very rural, but you have a lot of the delicious food traditions and stuff that you would find in Chicago. You know, you can get like an Italian beef sandwich. There's a really good place over there as well. But I'm gonna leave this here and head over there and pick up my pizza. From the time I'd left Virginia, I noticed a slight rattle coming from my engine. The sound was becoming progressively worse, and by the time I got to Illinois, I realized I had a problem. I'd taken to turning my music up to avoid hearing it, and in spite of the sound, the bike was still running like a top. Just got my Sam's Pizza and heading back to the campground. The only thing that sucks about that place, they don't open until 4 p.m. So I was just kind of sitting around, absolutely starving, you know, waiting around. And then of course it takes like 45 minutes for it to cook. Alrighty, here we go. I am starving. These deep dish kind of have a special box. So like that, and oh yeah. Italian sausage, anchovies. Unlike a lot of traditional Chicago deep dish, the cheese is on top, but it works. The star of this pizza really is the Italian sausage. I don't know if they're making it in-house or what, but it is just fantastic. It's got a lot of fennel seeds in it. It's spicy, rich, fatty, absolutely fantastic. I cannot find Italian sausage like this in the grocery store. I did find out after I overheard a couple people talking, it's actually pronounced Marseilles. So there you go. Later, I took my headphones off and rode around listening to the sound. After calling up a couple of buddies and researching the matter on the internet, I felt like we finally got the issue narrowed down to the cam chain tensioner. All right, I moved my camp. The ground at the other spot was just level enough that I was rolling constantly during the night. So over here I got a more level piece of ground. So the issue that I'm dealing with, after talking to a bunch of buddies and doing a little bit of research, I think I pretty much got it narrowed down to the cam chain tensioner, right about 27,000 miles on the bike, and a few other guys were having the same problem. So I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. Obviously, I don't want to continue riding it like this. It does fine at higher RPMs. I don't hear as much of that tick, 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 tick as I do when the bike is at idle. So I looked all over the place online for one of these things. And the only one I found was from eBay, like 10 to 14 days for the shipping. Miraculously, I found a motorcycle shop about 10 minutes down the road. Today's Monday. He says he can get it Wednesday. You know, about as close to a miracle really as you can expect. I mean, I was expecting maybe 2 weeks. So this makes me feel better. At least I'll have that part. And as soon as I get a chance and hopefully some garage space, I'll go ahead and go through the procedure of swapping it out. It looks like a pretty simple deal. There's some kind of crazy looking mushroom growing high up in that tree. So it looks like I'm stuck here for a couple of days, but the grocery store is about a mile walk over the bridge over there. So if I were gonna pick a breakdown scenario, this one's pretty good. I mean, all things considered. All right, something hatched in a big way. Some kind of like a stonefly or something like that. They're a little big to be mayflies, but as you can see, this whole thing is just littered with them. I've seen a lot of guys out there, the campgrounds over there, but they were out there fishing and stuff, so I guess they must be biting on some kind of dry flies. Well, breaking down doesn't entirely suck. I picked up this long continuous link of garlic sausage. It's got a very nice garlic aroma to it. 2.1 pounds, 817, you know, it's pretty good. So letting my coals burn down over here, letting that grill get nice and hot. Talking to some of the ladies at the grocery store, they tell me this sausage is made in-house. So it makes me wonder if maybe that Italian restaurant that I went to last night, maybe they get their sausage from the same place. I don't know, but I'm getting hungry, so about to throw this bad boy on the fire. All right, garlic sausage made in-house at the local mom and pop grocery store. Cheers. Spicy, garlicky. They're a little heavy-handed on the salt, I gotta be honest. Even for me, I like a lot of salty food. That's a little too much. Ideally though, I mean, if you had like a tomato sauce to like chop this up and throw it into, it'd probably be perfect. All right, so I'm gonna try this. One of the things I kind of got into during my trip to the Philippines last winter, they eat a lot of pork over there, but they'll typically dip the pork in a type of vinegar. Over there, it's usually coconut vinegar. But I got some of this Japanese rice vinegar. Dip a little bit in this rice vinegar. Give that a try. That tang off of the vinegar kind of cuts the excessive saltiness of this particular sausage. Kind of makes it a lot more palatable. Really, vinegar and pork kind of go hand in hand. Apparently, we are expected to get the remnants of Hurricane Beryl, which just wreaked havoc on East Texas. Most of Houston area is out of power, so it's expected to kind of go around us, but Nevertheless, as you can see, obviously, I want all the protection I can get. You'll notice that I got this tarp as close to the ground as possible. Camping in the jungle in Southeast Asia without a tent last winter, I made the mistake of putting my tarp way too high above my sleeping pad and everything, and got absolutely soaking wet. And I found that when I moved it lower, I'm more out of the rain. I got the call yesterday that my part arrived. So a buddy of mine put me in touch with a guy with a motorcycle shop kind of around Davenport, Iowa area, about 100 or so miles away. I think I can make it without a problem. Getting everything dried out, I might go up to the grocery store and get some meat, throw it on the fire so I can take it with me. After grilling up a couple of thinly sliced steaks to take with me, I packed up and headed down the road to pick up the part, then rode due west towards Davenport. This is a weird looking thing, man, let me tell you. I'll mention also that I had tried to do a manual cam chain adjustment, which a friend of mine had suggested. It seems like it's maybe not quite as loud as it was, but still there's a little bit too much of a kind of a rolling marble sort of a sound coming from it than I would like. Supposed to be more thunderstorms coming in tonight. I got a ton of stuff to do. So I found a hotel in Davenport for 42 bucks, which is, you know, that's like pretty sweet deals. Well, this is what $42 gets you in Iowa. Man, got a queen size bed, chair, sofa, TV, desk. Actually, the lady downstairs couldn't find my reservation right away, and she felt bad about it, so she was like, well, let me go ahead and upgrade you, so this doesn't suck. I spent the remainder of the day stocking up on fresh coolant, water, and snacks for the following day's adventure. And in the morning, I headed up to Calamus, Iowa, where the shop was located. After getting the bike on the lift, I began the process of removing the radiator.
There's probably not an easy way to drain that, is there?
No, really not.
You want that other pan underneath? Or
There we go.
You got most of it.
Yeah, sort of. I knew I was getting dirty today.
Like I said, there's some rags behind you if you need them too, and then
Okay.
I'll probably empty that garbage can out. I meant to do it yesterday, because I'm throwing a bunch of crap away too.
With the radiator out of the way, I began loosening the 3 bolts holding on the valve cover. Next, it was a matter of loosening the 2 bolts which threaded into the cam chain tensioner and finagling it out. That's the new one right there. And this is what I pulled out of there. Basically, the first thing I noticed was that little notch where part of that spring is supposed to hook into has completely failed. And the spring has caused some indentations right there and right there. This piece of the, I guess, shoe, if you will, has cracked off. And by comparison, you can see how it's supposed to look, where that's supposed to be a circular sort of a fitting for that spring. Doesn't even touch the metal on that side. And it was actually barely holding on. Thank God that I didn't lose the spring somewhere down inside the engine, because that would have really sucked. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about those pieces coming off. I don't think it would really necessarily cause any serious damage, but even though I changed the oil already, I'll probably change it again, maybe once I get out to Sturgis. I'm really happy that thing was messed up when I took it out of there, because if it wasn't, I was going to really be scratching my head and trying to figure out something else. All right, so we're heading out to lunch in this, the Speed Demon, he calls it. You know, super fast hot rod golf cart.
My wife calls it the Uber.
There's Calamus, Iowa. There's literally 3 streets in this town. Is this like a little RV park?
Yeah.
Wow.
Little campground in town. That's cool. I got it moved over. A guy about 5 miles from here built a new house. Oh, this one got moved in and it was going to be up for sale. So they just actually pulled it in yesterday, and then they must have just slid it over onto the foundation. So
that is exciting to watch. Kind of fascinating.
well, we watched it go up our street, looking around back that way. Okay, so nothing.
If you just got a set of locking,
Yeah,
like
you want
channel locks, or
needle nose ones, or would you?
Yeah.
rather have- I got a couple of them. I mean, hell, I got that.
something locking
Actually,
into place.
that one might be a little bit more. I don't know unless that's too big or what. I'm just sitting there thinking that might be a little bit wider versus.
That, yeah.
Well, actually, they're about the same.
Oh, the
But
width
these are smaller.
Yeah, yeah,
So
probably
you can actually
these.
get in there a little bit better.
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, that's perfect.
That way, it'll lock on there, and you ain't gotta worry about it dropping.
Exactly. That would ruin my day, man. So after a lot of trial and error and a few curse words, got that freaking thing seated in there where it needs to be. The problem with this whole thing was there's one bolt on the top that holds it on, and it just doesn't have enough room to clear this thermostat. According to the manual, they want you to take this off, but in order to do that, it's like I got to take the air box and everything else. It took a little bit of finagling. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass. Anyway, got both of those tightened down and pulled the pin for the preload, so it's all should be pressed up against the chain. So I'm going to start putting that valve cover back on and put the radiator back on and see if I can get it running.
So did you lose much for oil or just a little bit?
For oil, almost nothing. Like maybe a drop or two.
Okay, well I seen that it looks black kind of in there, but then there was oil in
There
that
was some
pan
oil
too.
already
So
in there, yeah.
yeah, you figure it doesn't get cleaned out all the greatest either. So
Right? I'm about to the point where I'm gonna start it up and let it run for a little bit, and then let it cool off and check the coolant again.
check levels, make sure everything's
Yeah, it
topped
takes a
off.
while for the bubbles to kind of
Oh yeah,
work themselves out.
that's why, like I said, when he made a comment about Honda, I'm like, Bob, I don't know anything about Honda. He was like, he's gonna work on it himself. I'm like, okay, I can help give moral support, or
Yeah, right.
I know places to call if we need help. So.
No, look, just having you here means
An
the
extra
world.
hand at times.
Just so I know that I've got a safety net if I need it, you know. Fucking.
Well, there's different times I'm working out here in the garage, and I've had to call the wife or the son out and be like, hey, I need an extra hand, or I need a smaller hand than mine.
Once I'd gotten the radiator filled up with fresh Honda coolant, it was time for the moment of truth. Wish me luck. Screw it. Not hearing that sound. Dude, so much better. Thanks for your help, man.
I ain't worried about dirty hands, man.
I figured that. Can you hear the difference?
Oh,
Yeah. Here's some of his shop. This is DeHoot, and I'll write the spelling in the item box below. But yeah, he's got a nice little shop here. Got a tire machine, nice tire machine, and all your AMSOIL needs.
A mess.
So this is pretty clean, man. As far as motorcycle shops and stuff, in addition to doing your motorcycle shop, what else do you do?
Flooring.
Flooring.
Epoxy flooring.
Epoxy flooring. But yeah, if you're ever in the area and need some work done, there's his, that's how it's spelled, DeHoot. Like hoot owl, like you got on the fucking thing right there.
That's what started that. So.
People mispronouncing it.
Oh, yeah.
I really can't thank Corey enough for allowing me the use of his shop. Just having him nearby went a long way towards easing my mind in the event of a catastrophe. For that matter, I'm extremely indebted to the many friends who helped me out in the process. With the bike up and running and the temperature in the 70s, I sought to lay down some miles as I rode into the sunset. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. And as usual, I've included an optional donate link in the drop box for anybody that might like to contribute to this project. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the road.